You've been told your whole life to save money, save for a rainy day. You open a savings account, you start putting money in. But here's the truth, saving's never ever going to make you wealthy. What is going to build you wealth is learning how to invest. So 8 years ago, I didn't start off by saving to build what I've got today. I started off by investing. And I've got £8.2 million worth of property right now, as well as multiple businesses that give me passive income every month. And I've done it without saving a penny. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why saving won't make you rich and what you should do instead. So saving money isn't what you should do. Most people do it because they feel comfortable. They like seeing some money in the bank. But here's the truth. When you save money in a bank, your money is actually worth less every year. So say you've got, I don't know, 10 grand in the bank. Now the bank will probably on average give you maybe 3% interest. So year on year, your 10 grand is making 3%. The problem is inflation. So inflation is how fast the price of goods rise. So inflation's going up. So you're getting 3% in the bank a year, but inflation 6%. That means your money is losing its buying power every single year. So it's one of the worst things you can do, keep your money in the bank, because with inflation, it's always going to go down and the interest rate is never enough to beat inflation in a bank. So number 2, savings doesn't give you cash flow. So you can save a pot of money, but it's not going to give you passive income. It's not going to help you actually live. It's not going to pay for your cost of living because the interest rate isn't enough and inflation is increasing year on year. So for me, when I look at helping people build wealth, it's about getting them out of their job, creating them a passive income. Saving will never ever create you a passive income stream. So instead of saving that money in a bank, how about saving that money in a house? I speak to a lot of people about this because they get confused. Houses are safe. It's like an alternative bank for your money. You put your money in a house, you can always sell the house and get it back out. But here's the difference between the bank and a house. So the bank will give you 3% interest year on year. You can't really live on it. Nothing's really going to change, and inflation is putting your buying power going down. Whereas you put money in a house, what happens to a house? It goes up in value over time. You can pop a tenant in it and you're going to earn passive income. So instead of putting it into the bank, wealthy people invest in assets like property. So what happens when you put your money in the bank is the bank will give you an interest rate, maybe 3% on average. Inflation is higher, so the money in the bank is actually getting less and less every year. Your buying power from that money is getting less because the interest rate's 3%, inflation is 6%, your money's going down in value. So what most people don't understand is they could put it in an alternative bank, which is property. Property is very safe, especially in the UK, and it goes up in value. So instead of having that money in the bank, losing your money, you put it into a house. That house will go up in value over the years and it will give you a passive income stream because you can put a tenant in it, or there's different ways to monetize the house. So you've got an asset going up in value, giving you an income stream. Now, if you ever need to get your money back out of that house, you can mortgage it, you can sell it, but your money is safe, much safer than keeping it in the bank. For me, property was the vehicle that gave me the passive income and got me out of my 9-to-5 job. I just didn't know where to start or what to do. I needed someone else to show me how. So I'd love to invite you onto my free 90-minute workshop. Click the link in the description of this video and come and join me and let me show you exactly how to find the right properties, how to fund them, how to get them cash flowing and create you passive income. So number 3, let's talk about pensions. Most people do what everyone does. They save into a corporate pension scheme and they feel like this is going to make them free and get them safe and give them a good retirement, which is so wrong. Say your goal is to save £1 million before you retire and you start putting away £500 a month. Most people can't afford to put away £500 a month, but say you can, you start to do that. You know, your pension fund's giving you 2% a year. It's going to take you over 100 years to save £1 million pension. And the sad reality is most of us save about £150,000 to £200,000 pension pot over our lifetime working, yet that's only going to give you 6 to 8 grand a year when you retire. That's nowhere enough to live on. I worked this out at the age of 31. I got my pension statement and it said over my working life, I would save about £154,000. And that would give me £6,000 a year, which is very exciting. Not, because how on earth is anyone meant to cope on £6,000 a year? Yet I was doing what everyone told me to do, pay into your pension because it's safe. And you know what the worst thing about pensions? It's the pension companies that are getting rich. That's the worst thing. They're getting rebates, commissions, they're earning off the back of you saving hard, and you're not getting very much for that. The other thing that I hate about corporate pension schemes is when you die, payments are reduced to half by your partner. Why? You saved it your whole life. Why is that? That seems so wrong. Then when they die, your kids don't inherit it. The pension fund goes back to the big fund to pay out other staff members. Your children don't get anything from you working hard and saving into a pension. It's honestly one of the worst things that we're told to save into a pension. Instead, what you can do is get hold of your pension, put it into a private pension. There's two types, SIPPs or SSAS, and you can use that, and you've got the power to use that to invest in commercial property or gold. But commercial property is a great asset. A lot of pension funds buy commercial property because it's very safe, hands-free, and it's going to give you a great return. So normal people are taught to save for safety, but rich people buy assets instead. They don't save, but they invest in assets. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get invested in assets. So property is a great asset class. It's going to go up in value and it's going to give you an income. Work out how you can buy as many properties as possible. One of my first investment properties I did in my first year when I was started to turn to property was a simple buy-to-let. Bought a house, put a tenant in it. The tenant gave me enough rent to cover my mortgage and give me a passive income. It was just over £500 net profit a month. I've sat on that asset for the last 8 years. It's now worth a lot more money. It's gone up loads in value and I've had a great income from it. That's where it all changed for me when I realised, hang on a minute, this one little property keeps paying me every single month without fail. I'm not having to work for that money. Yet my 9-to-5 job, I'm working very hard. I'm exhausted. I'm missing out time with my kids. You know, I'm getting paid for it, but it's hard work. Imagine if I could just have another few of these buy-to-lets, I wouldn't need to work. And that's when the game changed for me. The next thing I want you to do is understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. So wealthy people don't just save, they don't just sit around thinking they've got no money. What they do is they leverage good debt to make them more money. So good debt is the debt you're going to use that's going to actually help you produce an income. So for example, on property, good debt is a mortgage. Mortgage is good debt because it's debt on an asset going up in value and that asset's giving you a passive income. Where bad debt is consumer debt. So if you've ever bought stuff on your credit card, taken out loans for holidays, that's bad debt because that's never going to give you money, is it? So good debt is what you can leverage on assets to make you an income. And this is how the rich use it. They leverage their assets, they leverage good debt to make them more money. The third thing I want you to focus on is cash flow over lump sums. Now, a lot of people I talk to like the idea of making money. They want to maybe go win the lottery or do something like that, but they're not working strategically on a few simple things that will cover their 9-to-5 salary. Most people in the UK, on average, earn about 30 to 36,000 a year. That means you only need £3,000 a month to replace your income. £3,000 a month could be 6 houses just giving you £500 net profit a month, with tenants in them paying for themselves, giving you an income. Or it could be one holiday let that's making you 6 figures a year. But I want you to focus on building property portfolio to pay for your lifestyle so you don't need to work. You can be free. That freedom can mean you can have the power to do what you want, when you want, travel the world, do whatever you want, and never ever be worried about not having the money. When I stopped thinking like a saver and started to think like an investor, that's when the game changed. Because this is a sad reality. You can't save yourself to wealth. No millionaire, billionaire that I know has saved themselves to wealth. They've earned it through smart investments. I bought assets that paid me monthly. I reinvested profits to buy more assets so I could build faster. And you can't save yourself to freedom, but you can invest to reclaim your freedom. Middle class habits will keep you a good worker, but wealthy habits are what are going to set you free. So if you're serious about breaking out of the saver mentality, I run a free 90-minute workshop where I'd love you to join me. I'm going to show you the pitfalls of staying in your 9-to-5 job, doing what everybody does, and instead I'm going to show you what the rich do, how they leverage assets, they leverage good debt, and they're able to build a massive passive income stream, and that's why they're free and they don't have a job. Click the link in the description and I'll show you how you can use your existing savings, use your house, use your pension to fast track you forward to wealth. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel because that means the world to us, and comment below and let me know what you think.